Now we will continue with the work of the Security Council Counterterrorism Committee. I now recognize our Undersecretary General for Conference Management to call the roll.
Security Council Counterterrorism Committee. Delegation of Germany.
The delegation of the Federal Republic of Germany is present.
Peru.
The delegation of the Republic of Peru is present and voting.
Russian Federation.
The delegation of the Russian Federation is present and voting.
United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
The delegation of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland is present and voting.
United States of America.
The delegation of the United States of America is present and voting.
With 5 delegations present, now I pass the word to the Vice President of the General Committee, Ana Karen Evia.
We now recognize the Rapporteur, Maria Fernanda Hernandez Estrada, to come to the front and read the report.
As part of the New York Model United Nations Conference 2019, which took place from April 21st to April 24th, the Security Council Counterterrorism Committee, with Emmanuel Goico as President, Anderson Di Rossier as Vice President, and Maria Hernandez as Rapporteur, started its first working session at 8 a.m. on Monday, with every member state registered present and voting. The agenda was set to discuss Topic A first: threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts, preventing terrorists from acquiring weapons. The committee proceeded with the speakers list, and after every delegation expressed their position regarding the issue, the meeting was twice suspended in moderating informal consultations so that every member state was able to further develop their point of view and arguments. Once the committee established some common ground, the meeting was suspended in 8 regular informal consultations. Due to the nature of the committee, instead of making a resolution, the delegates had to write a report that will later be presented to the Security Council. The committee decided to focus on the dark web, the transnational transportation of illegal weapons and border security, and the allocation of regions so that this issue would be tackled effectively. During the second working session, all member states were present and voted and dedicated the debates to the report's development. This report was 4 times presented to the dais and was returned to the committee with suggestions and comments. After the regular informal consultations in which the second meeting was suspended, the delegates were able to deliver by the second of the working session the final draft of the report, waiting to be voted in the next working session. On April 23rd, with all member states registered present, the Security Council Counterterrorism Committee started its third working session of NIMUNLAC at 8:30 a.m. During this meeting, the delegates presented the final draft report and proceeded with introducing the draft report. This draft report was later approved by every member state and presented to the Security Council by the delegations of the United States of America and the Russian Federation representing the CCCTC. With no questions from the Security Council members, the committee continued with the agenda and started the speakers list for Topic B, Maintenance of International Peace and Security, Trafficking in Persons. The delegates started by defining what trafficking in persons meant, its role in terrorism, the different purposes, and how it affected the international security. Once the fourth and final working session of the Security Council Counterterrorism Committee, the delegates were able to start working on the second report by defining the topics to be discussed and start the report's summary. By the end of the final working session, the delegates presented the dais and passed the second report.
We now invite the delegation of the United States of America and the Russian Federation to read the report. And United Kingdom.
The international community recognizes the influence trafficking in person has in terrorism. Taking this into account, the SSTC discussed it during this meeting, a way to diminish the quality of trafficking in person occurring in various regions, especially in women and children. Moreover, the course of the action to take against terrorist organizations who practice and discuss various arms was addressed. Furthermore, in the following report, these aspects are analyzed and discussed in order to give a greater sense of the proposal made regarding this topic.
Content. First topic. Overview of the problematic. Correlation between human trafficking and terrorism. The correlation between terrorists and human traffickers is quite difficult to explain, but both play an incredible factor in the lives of each of us. It is not a secret that many of human trafficker victims end up unwillingly participating in terrorist activities. This is because they are forcefully put to work on behalf of the command of others. Sadly, those victims of human trafficking spend years of their lives living a life they do not want to have. As for example, living in captivity or performing jobs that might not share their values and morals.
Recommendations, findings, and solutions. The Security Council Counterterrorism Committee finds it fundamental the consideration of the involvement of the International Criminal Court in order to take action against human traffickers, in order to assess the extensive violations to the human rights of the victims. The Security Council Counterterrorism Committee wishes to propose the use of legal actions, such as sanctions, in order to guarantee the correct functioning of the resolutions previously stated. Thanks.
The reports were successfully presented to the Security Council. We now kindly ask for a round of applause to recognize the job that the Security Council Counterterrorism Committee did.